Follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So your right palm on your left, and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body. Let your whole body weight go down. In the beginning, mentally, relax your body, relax your breathing, and relax your mind. Bring your attention to the right arm, and deeply, gently, slowly breathing, and visualize yourself that all the breath go to your right arm. And breathe out. When you breathe out, visualize your whole arm release. Focus your mind to your left arm and deeply breathing. And breathe out. Your back and spine, deeply breathing. Focus your mind to that area. And breathe out. Your abdominal area, breathing. And breathe out. Your chest, breathing. And breathe out. Your right leg, breathing. And breathe out. Focus your mind to your left leg. Deeply, gently, slowly breathing. And breathe out. Your neck and head. Deeply, slowly, and gently breathing. And breathe out. Now bring attention to your whole body and visualize yourself breathing to your whole body. And breathe out. Breathing. Breathe out. And again, breathing one more time. Breathe out. Bring your attention to the lower part of the body and observe the sensation, any kind of feelings, heat, tightness, heaviness. Just get a mental note. No need to react, no need to comment, no need to think over it. Don't try to adjust, just recognize. Your lower back, and your upper back and shoulders, and your arms and elbow, forearms, your abdominal area and your chest, your neck and head. See what kind of feelings you can recognize. Don't try to adjust or don't try to correct anything. Just recognize. And bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. So keep your attention to the sensation. And if your mind go here and there, bring it back. And just keep observe. Let your inhalation, exhalation happen itself. Just recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Do nothing extra. Let everything to settle down itself. Just stay with the sensation. Just stay with the sensation and follow the change. Bring your attention to your body and observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire this compound, this village, this city, this state, this country, this world, and this universe, and as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Visualize yourself and send it as a light forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, when it comes to Buddha's teaching, mainly we practice our teachings with two pillars. One is wisdom, other one towards the compassion. So, when you develop your ordinary life, you have to develop your life with these two pillars. You have to develop these two paths. So, in conventional life, you need certain kind of wisdom to maintain your life without getting any harm to yourself, also without doing any harm to others. And that is not enough. And then you have to expand that wisdom. In this very lifetime, you have to be a very successful person. That success means not just only the material success. That material success necessary. But at the same time, you have to remember your internal development. That means as a human being, how much the satisfaction and contentment you develop and how much awareness and understanding you develop. That is very matter for your entire existence. In this very lifetime, you have to be a successful person, and also not only that, whatever the bodily, verbally, or mentally action you perform here should bring the comfort and higher level of existence after you die. So whatever the bodily or mentally, verbally action you perform today, if it is create a kind of like a feedback going to take you down, lower than this life, so that also is kind of like a failure for you. So then, while you're developing your life in one way, developing the wisdom that way, and other side, you have to develop the compassion to the same level of within yourself. So when it comes to compassion, the very first thing that you need, you have to deeply appreciate who you are. Having this life and experiencing this life as the human being, it's very rare. One time Buddha mentioned, Kicho Manusa Patilabu Kichang Machana Jivita. Getting into a human realm, get the human plane, human existence is not easy. It is very, very difficult. And somehow you are able to experience that. So then you have to know where you are. And you have to know who you are. And from there, so you have to appreciate that. And at the same time, you have to have a certain compassion regarding yourself. You have no rights to hate yourself. It's kind of like violating the fundamental human qualities, violating human ethics. If you hate yourself, it doesn't mean you hate just only for you. When you hate yourself, when you angry yourself, when you unhappy, unsatisfied yourself, that's mean you are unhappy with this entire the human nature. So that is where you have to be very careful. That's why when people get angry themselves, they start to go and harm to others. They start to put other people in difficulties. So that's mean when you get angry, when you get hurt, when you become sad, worry, don't think it is just going to be limited to your skin. You are become a kind of like a person. You are going to hurt, or you are get angry, you get mad with the entire human existence. So, and at the same time, so when it comes to compassion, the very first thing, when you have the compassion regarding yourself, that doesn't mean you have a very self-centered compassion. The same like the opposite side of the hatred. When you have the compassion regarding yourself, that doesn't mean you just compassion only for you. That help to create a bridge to have the compassion regarding the entire human existence. So then it is very necessary yourself, when you practice the Dharma, to develop this both side. And then once the compassion you develop you within yourself, and not only you, when you become wiser, what you recognize, you understand this life happening because of other people, not only other people, other animals, many living beings. As you know, there are many bugs that help for our human existence, and they balance this life circle. And there are a lot of animals help us, and especially this bees, they are help to pollinate, and the birds and the cows, and there are many animals, and invisibly they help for this entire world to be like this. Even yesterday when I was here the discussion that the Dr. Fauci, that he told, the very first thing he told, if somebody going to find the vaccine for this virus, before they put into human, the very first thing they have to put it to animals and see what is the reaction. I was thinking at that moment, look, we think, oh, we are the superior, and we are human being, we can do everything whatever we want, and we are so advanced with the science and technology like that way. But look, and to create a kind of like a good medicine, and first thing that they're going to try with the animals. So maybe that animal's going to die. Who knows? And maybe that animal's going to create different kind of unnatural behavior. But still, that it going to protect the human beings. So then yourself, if you hate yourself, it kind of like you wasting that all other animals' lives also. So then if you become healthy, and if you become good person yourself, and if you behave good, and if you even protect other living beings, it's giving some meaning to the world and yourself, and it giving some credit for even the other unseen, this all the living beings whoever try to help or us to become like this. So then take it very serious. Remember yourself. Even never have a thought regarding yourself becoming disappointed. There is no reason for yourself, because of these little situations in your life, with this little up and down. Don't have any kind of disappointment. Why? Because you are more worth than that incident. So appreciate yourself. That is a kind of like the recognition yourself. And not only that, then you able to understand the other living beings around you. So this both wisdom and compassion, you have to develop this both. So that is the main, the teachings come with the Buddha's teaching. It is not a one thing. Because if you lose one thing, that other thing cannot exist itself. So then it's kind of like with this electricity, male, female. So if you lose one connection, the other connection doesn't work. Plus minus. So same like, always remember, whatever you do, and develop the compassion and wisdom to the both level, the same level. And that way, you're going to become more successful person in conventional life and even in the eternal life. So that is very necessary. Why? Because sometimes that we go with the, the wisdom path, and sometimes we forget the compassion, and sometimes we become completely compassion and we forget the wisdom part, and sometimes we get hurt from that. Why? Because when you have the compassion, if you don't know how to maintain it, maybe you get hurt. It's like you're going to use the poison, and without knowingly, how you going to use it? Why? Because you have to use the compassion to maybe other people whoever don't know what is compassion. So then that's why you have to develop the both side. And when it comes to wisdom path, it is just not this learning this outside conventional informations. The self-realization, that is the supreme realization or the supreme wisdom that you can gain. So then how much time you use in day-to-day life to recognize who you are? So what is really happening within yourself? What is the meaning of that you are living? So you have to put some time little by little. You don't need to put whole day. You cannot do it. But at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just get into in the beginning, the start with the being silence. Shut down all your bodily, verbally, and mentally action and get into silence zone. In Western, it called go to the closet. It is your time. You don't do anything. You don't watch TV, you don't listen to music, or you don't read books, you don't talk with anybody, you don't answer cell phone, you don't go anywhere. Just keep that time for you in the beginning. So that is once you learn how to become silence, that become a very good profitable skill when if you really want to develop the wisdom path. So that outside silence and slowly will help you to get into inner silence. So that is more worst. And sometimes in society we see people talk very nice, smiling, and they wearing beautiful, and they go to parties, they dance, singing, and but sometimes they come home and their life become miserable. Why? Because this inner chattering, always proliferation, and always keep talking. And I was studying regarding these suicide situations. And the most of people, when they suicide and when they kill themselves sometimes, the mostly they shoot like this to their head, not anywhere else. Why this come to, why they gun, the point, they keep the gun to their head? Psychologically, because this inner chattering. So that much it's powerful. So then remember yourself, get slowly, little by little, get into the silence zone and stop this inner chattering. So be completely silent. Sometimes it is very difficult. You will see it's very difficult in the beginning to get into. So then what you can do? You can read the sutra, or you can get into a nice compassion mantra, or you can get into kind of like a beautiful chanting. So like that, use something in the beginning. So you want to come out of the thoughts, and then you use some kind of words. And every day you have to keep doing it for that moment. And so then slowly start to get into meditation a little bit. So when it comes to that meditation, don't just shut down and close your eyes and keep thinking. Why? Because the very purpose of meditation, get out of the thought pattern. So then you need the mental object. So get into the inhalation, exhalation, and observe the sensation. Stay with and recognize and how this inhalation, exhalation happening, how this body rising and falling. So observe it, and that gives the deeper connection to the very nature of you. It never disconnects you. All this inner chattering, all these thoughts and disconnects us, not only us. And once we disconnect ourselves, what will happen? You start to disconnect from your family, your husband, wife, children, your partners, loved ones, and brothers, sisters. You don't see anybody anymore. So that's why deeper, when you recognize that deeper silence, it brings the connection to you. And that connection has power to build the bridge around you with others. So that become itself the wisdom yourself. That's why when the Buddha attained to the Buddhahood and when he developed the community of Sangha, he never told any monks to go to forest and hide there. What the Buddha mentioned? Charita bhikkhave charikang bahujana hitaya bahujana sukhaya. When you get into more understanding, what you do, you come out of your self-centered mind and you start to sacrifice your life for the good and for the benefit of others. So when you develop your wisdom in that path, and day by day, you become profitable to yourself and also you become profitable to others. So that is the beauty of the wisdom path. It is a very beautiful way to experience the life. Look at the world. You are in a very beautiful place in this human existence. If you look at the history, and the only thing during this virus situation time, we are in a very kind of like a stuck moment, but still it giving us some kind of opportunities for us. It completely different situation. And even though it is worse situation, we have more opportunities today. And if you heard that 1980, that's Spanish flu, how the people used to deal with it, and what kind of that the difficulties people went through all over the world, and it kind of like a hell. But today, still we are not like that. It because of the time period that we having. Otherwise, that this everything can become more worse than this. But still, be able to experience this beautiful life because we are in this time period. So then you have some responsibilities. What is that? Try to be the best of you and bring your best version, and remember and develop the wisdom path little by little. That how you develop it, and the very first thing, develop the yourself, the inner wisdom, that the connection within yourself. For that, start to disconnect things and be silent and find a place for yourself and stop inner chattering and always this blah 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 blah, get out of it. And always in the la la land, get out of it, calm down, relax a little bit, and shut down your phone a little bit. And it's okay, you have the computer, you have the phone and everything, but get into one time, maybe 6 o'clock every day, 7 o'clock in the evening. You don't do that things, you get into some spiritual practice and you go to deeper silence yourself and observe yourself. That is enough in the beginning. Why? Because it's like a planting a seed. When you have the good seed and you know when the right soiled meet, it going to bring the good result. So this kind of little activities is kind of like that. And for children, for your children, especially young people. So remember, you have to develop something within yourself with the spiritual practice. It doesn't matter what you know. And it doesn't matter in which field you are. And it doesn't matter that what kind of background you come from. If your parents didn't do that, remember yourself start to develop some kind of spiritual foundation little bit. So even 5 minutes enough. And that will protect you from many situations. Otherwise, you can collapse. We see it every day, everywhere. So it should not happen. So then yourself, you have responsibility. So then if you are parents, so if you parenting your children, whatever you give, always remember from the beginning of their life, try to teach them, sit down properly and do some kind of spiritual practice themselves and get out of this inner chattering and get out of this la land in their head and try to be silent and develop some kind of spiritual practice, do chanting little bit and get into some kind of meditation and loving kindness meditation, so like that. So that become the wisdom, a deeper insight. Maybe it is in the beginning difficult. It develop the pressure. That is, it is important. That pressure is good. Otherwise, always don't try to make them more comfortable. So that way their life not going to beautiful. As you know, the diamond is the most important, the iron in the world. That's the most precious when it comes to gem. How the diamond come and underneath this earth, that it go the charcoal go through the huge pressure, 100 years. How the gems come to that level in that underneath this earth with the enormous pressure, with the heat and the pressure, and they go to transform to something. So our life the same. Nothing going to come very comfortable way. So then yourself always remember, developing wisdom is an art. And in that art, the very first thing that you have to remember, to sacrifice a little bit. Without sacrificing yourself, nothing going to come. Even in the conventional life, forget about the spiritual life. Even in the conventional life, if you cannot turn off your phone little bit, if you cannot come out of the TV, if you cannot miss your favorite TV program, or if you cannot let go the cartoon, or if you cannot just let go your favorite food, how you can be healthy in the future? How you can become better person if you cannot get out of the computer games? Do you think in the future you're going to become the better person and get a better job? No, it's not going to happen, because if you cannot sacrifice this little thing for you, do you think in the future that everything going to be in front of you, kind of like appear like a genie going to bring this everything? No. Your own sacrifice going to build who you are. So even in conventional life, it is okay, let go this little comfort. That is an art. And then when it go to spiritual life yourself, little by little, that get out of the unnecessary, that the comfort zone that we build. So that way you will see how your life going to become more comfortable. And it's going to become more stable. That is a wisdom itself. And then the compassion part. And when it comes to compassion ourselves, when we develop our own heart, when we melt with the loving kindness, compassion, generosity, rather than making it kind of like a rock, like kind of like an iron ball, we through this practice it melt us. That when we melt ourselves, it help us to create something. So even in this material world, that if you cannot maintain anything, if you cannot bend anything, or if you cannot turn anything, if you cannot move anything yourself, what the point? You're not going to buy that anything. In America, when they build the IKEA, very famous this IKEA concept. When they came to this IKEA, the one of the very beautiful thing that why the IKEA they became more successful. They start to build concept. The person that himself or herself can maintain whatever the all the tools and the all the furniture themselves, and they build it in a different small parts, and then you can, so they, otherwise huge table, huge bed, if you put in the middle of your room, if you cannot move it yourself, you are in trouble. So the mind also the same. If you have idea yourself, if you cannot bend it yourself, if you cannot hold it yourself, if you cannot turn it, change it yourself, convert it yourself, you are in trouble. So then loving kindness and compassion bring this ability to ourselves. And not only that, when we have the conversation with others, and it make us more comfortable with them. That comfort is very necessary. Because otherwise, if we become uncomfortable with others, and they're not going to be with us, and somehow they're going to go away. So then always remember yourself, little by little develop that quality. And even with the animal, that there are two ways. Sometimes you see that there are these wild animals, maybe horse, tiger, lion, or any. You can hold them, elephants, you can hold them, you can tie them, you can beat them, and that way also for a certain limit you can control them. Have you seen that in circus field, sometimes lions start to attack their own people, and around their trainers. Elephants, mostly they attack to their own mahout and their own people, the people around them. How it is possible? Why it happened like that way? And because if you through punishment, if you through hardship, if you through kind of like violating the very nature of the animal, if you control that, one day it's going to come back. It bounce back. It doesn't matter where. Maybe it's not going to happen in this environment. But remember, in the sansaric journey, there is something happen. We have to go through same kind of environment, sometimes different timelines. So in this environment, whatever you do, and this is kind of like, as you know, the seasons. So it is a different topic, but just I want to give you an idea. You know the season, so the seasons happen naturally. And so the life also, so whatever you do in this season, and sometimes maybe you do something good, so you're not going to get a good result this season. So in the sansaric journey, you're going to get kind of like the same kind of environment one day. And that time, that whatever you have done going to become powerful. So same like even with the animal, so we try to maintain them, hold them, use them in a very bad way. And we do it for people also. And we try to control people. We try to maintain them. And we try to overtake them. So like that, we try to punish them. So like that way, we try to maintain our human life. But that way, it doesn't work. It never going to work. It never worked in the past. and it never going to work in the future. And we have to, but still people keep doing it. Still people keep doing it. So then ourselves, what we have to do, what the Buddha taught us, there is another way. If you develop the compassion, loving kindness, and even for wild animal, with the compassion, when you start to have talk with them, and they start to feel you. See, there are some people, and they go to jungle without anything, without any train, and they have the trust and they understand that animal behavior, and they go with that animals. And there was a very famous person used to stay with crocodiles, and nowadays in Florida there is a guy in stay with the the lions. So there are some people, they used to talk with dogs. So they have the kind of like a knowledge to understand. So the same thing with the horses, the birds. So when you develop that compassion, it is stronger than you put the chain on their neck or on their leg. So then remember yourself. Don't put a chain on a human neck and hold them and thinking you are the boss. It never going to work. And one day, when the moment comes, they're going to kick you out. And maybe it's not going to happen in this environment, but in the sansaric journey somewhere, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. If somebody get hurt because of you, remember, and if you have the intention to hurt that person, and then it's going to happen. No one doing it. It's not a punishment. It is just the reaction. So then you have to be very careful and use the compassion always. It is more stronger than beating or the putting a chain or punishing. So you have to build this both sides, both pillars when you go towards the liberation. When you 100% master these both pillars, compassion and the wisdom, both pillars, to the same level, day by day, day by day, day by day, towards yourself and towards others. And then one day you will see the light of the wisdom going to appear to you. So with that, there was a long time ago, there were people used to use this bull cart, and that was the best transport system during thousand years ago. So that time, one day, this 500 merchants, they went to one city to another city with this 500 bull cart. All the 500 bulls and pulling the cart and go business trip. So what happened in the middle of the jungle, and it was heavy rain, and then the road was muddy. What happened is all the 500 bull carts stuck. And then everybody start to beat the bulls and try to shout them and to get out of it. But what happened again and again when they start to beat these bulls, and they became more lazy. And they feel more tired, and they get stuck more and more and in that mud. So there was a wise person, the Bodhisattva, and he start to think, what happened? This never happened to us before. Now we get stuck in the mud, and we used to get stuck in the mud than before, but these bulls used to get out of it, and they well trained for this kind of situations. But today what happened? And then in that 500 bull carts, the bulls, And there was a kind of like a leader that that it go the first, that other all the bulls follow this. So one person was hitting very badly and saying very bad words and agitating and try to give hard time to this bull. And this bull was so lazy and tired and give up because of the anger. The all other bulls, what they did, they start to follow that bull. And then the Bodhisattva understood that and went to this bull and took out that person and start to touch this bull and start to talk nice words and told, my son, we have to get out of this, and this we are 500 people and we go to another city for our business and we have to go back, our children waiting there and our wives and our people waiting there, we have to go back. So like that, and you are helping for us so much. So like that, start to appreciate. So then what happened? Suddenly this bull stand and start to pull it cart, and following that all the 500 bulls and stand and start to pull all the 500 that bull cart from the mud and complete the journey. So the same thing with the human life also. Remember that. The same way we also react to situations. So when situations come, sometimes we also stuck in our life with them in the mud. So then you have to be very careful, the words that you use, the behavior that you have, the mindset you carry. And always remember, we as human beings, we're going to get the path towards the light, not towards the dark. So with that, we bless upon you by the power of this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbidyo vajjantu sabbarogo vinazzatu mate bhavattantarayu sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.